Hello everyone, it's TheCanadianWifier. Can I just start off by saying the last video, it was more of a misunderstanding due to me not enunciating what I was trying to get across about Diggersby. I think that's where a misunderstanding lies. It's not that it's a bad Pokemon. I feel that it's just getting more usage than it deserves because it's not good enough. There's the distinction, okay? Can we all stop arguing? Can we all stop calling me names? I got so upset. No. But seriously, it feels more of like a high UU, maybe BL kind of Pokemon. It doesn't feel like an OU Pokemon. It's just not good enough. I never even knew about a Choice Band set, to be honest. I assumed they were all like agility or whatever. Like, I never even heard of a Choice Band set. It makes a lot of sense, actually, now that you bring it to my attention. And yes, rotom-w would not be able to switch on a Choice Band set. I'm sorry, I didn't know about it at the time. But Choice Band or not, if you don't have a Skarm, Pharaoh, Trevenant, Gourgeist, Gliscor, hell even Gengar or any levitating ghost on your team, you're doing something wrong with team building. I mean, you can probably make a team and not even try to put on a really hard switch-in for Diggersby, and you'll end up having one. It just has so many good switch-ins that are just viable Pokemon. I don't see what all the hype about it is. But, on to today's game. It's actually against a pretty scary-looking Rain team. He most likely has the offensive Politoed. Politoed this generation doesn't really do as well defensively, just because offensively Politoed didn't get any worse over the generation. It still comes in, gets the Rain boost, and spams a Specs Hydro Pump. Defensively, though, there's no real reason to run it defensively, because you should be using your very limited Rain turns with someone else. So, most likely offensive Politoed. Don't really have much of switching on that. Obviously, he's not going to spam water if I still have Heliolisk around, but once Heliolisk goes down, he's free to spam his water, which would be really bad as well. Kingdra, switch from Kingdra is going to be a huge threat. Once again, Lucario is a giant threat, whether it's special or physical. If it's physical, I do have Gliscor. But if it gets up a couple SDs, Bullet Punch could become a huge issue. Most likely Restoration Goodra, which is going to be a huge pain to take on. Trevenant is always just a pain to take on because of his sub-seeding shenanigans. And then Azumarill didn't hit hard enough for you yet? Okay, let's throw some Rain in there too. And then you have Azumarill sitting there with the Choice Banded. Huge power waterfall in the Rain. My team, like I said, is just the team that you've seen in the last video. It's very Volt-turny, it's very awesome. Let's just get into the battle. So leading off for the battle, I'm going to lead with my Heliolisk because I assumed he would either lead with the Politoed or anything else really. I can just get off a nice powerful Specs Volt switch on it, and it's not going to do anything to the Goodra, but I can go out into Scizor, predicting the Dragon move, and I see the Infestation, which is really scary, but most likely means it's going to be Infestation rest with the Rain and then the Toxic, so you can't switch and you just get Toxic stalled to death. So gotta look out for that later on. Nice to know that it is that set early on. I'm going to U-turn out into my Gliscor because I know I can easily get the Toxic Orb activated, and then I can bait out the Scald from the Politoed, and I can go right on to the Helios to get the Dry Skin. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Then Volt switch on the Goodra as it switches in. U-turn out with my what's that thing called? Mienshao, and he goes out in the Goodra. I see the Toxic, which basically confirms the set for me. And I have no idea why I went for the Bullet Punch on that turn, but he learned something and I learned something on that turn, that you have to wait until the Rain stops before you can send out Politoed. Like, if there's one turn left and you send out Politoed, it won't reset the Rain to 5, you have to wait till it stops. And I learned that my battle backgrounds are kind of borked, that if weather stops, the weather background keeps going, so it's not actually raining right now, it just looks like it's raining. Anyway, I'm going to switch in rotom-w on the Azumarill, take a ton of damage, and head out into the Heliolisk, and Volt switch, Volt turn and going on. Just gonna go out into my Scizor, predicting either, like I've seen so far, Infestation, Toxic. I know I'm not really scared with the Scizor, and he ends up showing the Earthquake, which makes a lot of sense actually on that kind of set, as it allows you to hit both the Steel types and just the Steel types that you can't Toxic. I'm going to U-turn out, obviously, and head out into my Greninja, and Greninja's going to go for a nice E-Belt Ice Beam, knowing that the Goodra's not going to be able to wake up this turn. He's just going to burn a turn of sleep, apparently, and stay in. And predicting him to not want to lose his Goodra, I'm just going to U-turn out, keep up my momentum, and go right out into the Heliolisk. Now, obviously, like, there's no explanation really needed here. This is just Volt-turn at its frickin' finest, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna Volt switch out because the Politoed's in, and he's most likely going to switch out, not wanting to lose the Politoed. And now, seeing that Mienshao is in, somebody last battle mentioned that Scarf Mienshao is not good in this metagame. I agree, there's too many ghost types running around, but I don't even use it for the high jump kick most of the time. I use it for the threat of high jump kick. They'll switch in their ghost type 9 times out of 10 going, oh, he's going to spam high jump kick, and I just constantly click U-turn, and it just wears down their ghosts just a little bit more, and then maybe later on I can spam high jump kick. If I can't, oh well, it's not really too much of an issue for me. Regardless, there's been some volting and turning going on, really nothing to make note of. He misses a Draco on my Rotom, but hits the next one and kills it off anyway, and just gonna allow him to bring up Heliolisk and do a little bit more damage on the Goodra. And the crazy thing is, it's raining, and this Goodra has hydration rest, and I'm putting so much pressure on it that it literally has not been able to pull off a rest yet. It's pretty crazy what Volt Turn can do to a team. As he's basically forced to keep switching out the Goodra to take on Heliolisk Volt Switch, otherwise he will lose a Pokemon every time I go for it. And basically I can just keep going between me and Xiao and Heliolisk eternally. And she finally sacks his Goodra, as I'm just going to be able to send out the Heliolisk, take the Hydro Pump. Dry Skin obviously does nothing, and if I wasn't at full, in fact, I'd be getting healed. Dry Skin's such a good ability, and like me and Xiao is just going to keep U-turning. I'm not really going to break out the high jump kick until I absolutely need to. Now, because this Greninja is Expert Belt, I have absolutely no reason not to just click the Ice Beam and kill off the Trevenant. So I'm going to do that, just kill it off, and in comes the Lucario. I don't really think he would go for the Bullet Punch or the Extreme Speed or anything. If he went for the Bullet Punch, he would be able to kill off a Greninja, but I took the risk, just went for the U-turn, as he's going to SD twice and then go for Close Combat, and oh my lord, it does so much damage. I'm a pretty defensive Gliscor. Just adaptability, close combat at +3 does way too much damage. I was keeping this Gliscor alive literally specifically for that Lucario, so as soon as he sent it in I would still have Gliscor healthy, otherwise I knew I would lose, and very good that I kept it at full health, because I needed every single HP I had. Regardless, that was just a really good example of how Voltering can just completely shut down a team. Politoed was obviously dead to most things left on my team. And the Zoom rolls at 2% because it was forced to take Volt Switch earlier. I think from Heliolisk, I'm not quite sure. But I just wanted to bring that one to you guys, show it to you guys, because, I mean, Volt Turn this generation, it's not, the team isn't fantastic. And it still just keeps up such a momentum, keeps up such a high offensive pressure that it prevented a Goodra from using rest. It's just fantastic. Bulky offense really is just ruling this generation, and on that turn, or on that team, you're not. That was a very offensive example of the team. Most of the time I found myself just rolling things with Rotom and Gliscor, to be honest. And yeah, like I said, bulky offense is basically the way to go this generation. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will maybe bring you one tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. I've been doing a lot back to back to back, so I might give you guys a day off. I believe I'm getting back my game later this evening, so I'm going to be catching up on a ton of playing. Oh my goodness, I need to beat the game. That's really all that needs to be said. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and I will see you next time. Peace out.